There's a lot about a society when no matter what, we're worried about getting back to work, opening up the society, making sure that we get back to normal as quickly as possible. We're human beings. It is in our nature to abuse our resources. It's in our nature to err. To make the point is, there'll be people that follow the rules. There'll be people that try their best to socially distance. There'll be people that'll do their best to try to make sure everything is copacetic, is kosher, is up to board. But then there'll be people who don't care. There'll be people who don't care either way. They don't care whether this is real. They don't care whether this is fake. They don't care. There are people that are apathetic. It's almost like the Dark Knight, with the Joker. Some people can't be reasoned with. Some people can't be bargained with. They can't be bought. They just want to watch the world burn. Just say, hey, look, I'm like this. If you don't care either way, if you think this is a hoax, if you think this is not real and all the deaths and stuff that are happening all around the country, all around the world, or, just some manufactured thing, then I get it. It's your right to choose whatever side that you feel in this whole pandemic global outbreak thing. But the choice that you make or how you feel about a human life says a lot about you. Says a lot about you as a person. Says a lot about me as a person. How we really see a human life, what we as a humanity ascribe to or claim to be. Because there's a lot of things, there's a lot of values, especially as Americans, that we claim to hold dear. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, and all men are created equal, and this one is gender neutral, and these life rights should be respected, and this is wrong, and that and that and that and that and that and all these different things. But it becomes interesting to me when it comes to really the self-preservation. When it comes to almost a primalistic, nature. It becomes kind of funny when it becomes like, okay, you have states bidding against states for different, PPE, personal protective. And the reason that's important is because based on how we view human life, not just our life, but other lives, that affects humanity, that affects society, that affects the future. This may seem like I'm just sitting here, I'm just spewing off questions and questioning the same question after question, and there's a point to this all. How we act now and how we see each other now and how we view each other now, it actually plays a major factor into the future. It dictates a lot of things that are going to come. That's why people say, oh, okay, well, things are going to change and it's not going to be the way, it's not going to be the same. And the reason things are not going to be the same is because you will finally see, or you will begin to crystallize how people really view other lives, or how people sees human life, or how other folks may feel towards another person. Because then we have the ideals. We have the ideals of humanity and what humanity should be. But honestly, we have some ugly things that go on in this world. We have some ugly things that happen. We have some things that are downright despicable. We have some things that, it's almost shameful, that happens as a humanity, as a society. Now, I'm not here to tell you how to value human life. I'm not here to tell you what you should or you shouldn't do. That's your business. That's totally up to you how you value human life. Like I said, you could value life a little, you could value life a lot. But the choice says a lot about you. It says a lot about us. It's not easy. Sometimes, we judge folks. Sometimes we look at folks and say, hey, maybe that person isn't worthy. Maybe that person should stay over there, or those people are like this, or this one, is not on my level, or whatever. Whatever the terminology or the language that people use, whether it's racism, bigotry, homophobia, xenophobia, Islamophobia, all the phobias that may exist, or all the fears and negativities that may be out there that people use to judge folks. And the reality is, people do make judgments. Let's not sit here and play games. Some people may not want to face this. We try to appeal to our better angels. But unfortunately, there's times when we don't. Our better angels don't prevail. Our better angels haven't prevailed in certain instances. There are situations where, it's every man for himself, every woman, every child, or whoever for themselves. Some people, it's kind of slick, though, because nobody wants to come out and say it that way. We don't want to face it. Some people don't want to see reality for what it is. Some people don't want to realize that regardless of how you feel about this thing, we are in the midst of a global pandemic. People are dying, whether you believe they're dying for COVID-19 or not. There are people who will see the truth, who will know the truth, and then they look away. And then they look back. Oh, well, there it was. But there I am. And this is what this is. So, like I said, again, how do you value a human life? Yeah. Yeah, it's rough. It's rough. It's rough. It's rough. It's rough.